right now. Pittsburgh's best sports show is about to begin. Call us or tweet us. We've got things to talk about on the Ireland Contracting Nightly Sports Call.
Thank you very much, Josh. Good evening, everyone. Welcome inside the Fan Cave. This is our place to talk with you every single night of the week. 7 nights, no nights off. 412-575-2600 is the number to call. I'm joined tonight by Andrew Fillipponi up at 93.7 The Fan. Andrew, you had a little premonition that there may be a no-hitter tonight for Paul Skenes, and you were basically, 7 outs away from that, 8 outs away from that happening. It was Mickey Moniak who ruined it, but what a tremendous performance by the man who's going to win the Cy Young for the second year in a row.
And yeah, I mean, that's right, Bob. He looks like he'll do that. He's doing things that are unheard of or unseen in baseball. I just saw a stat before we came on that he's gone, I think now, 43 consecutive, or he's got 43 strikeouts since his last walk. Something ridiculous like that, just like these absurd stats. He hasn't walked a guy since April. Now we're into May, obviously, and into the middle of May. Just the last 2 starts, 8 innings, no runs. You know, could have, against Arizona, gone out there for the 9th tonight. Just hearing Skenes, it sounds like he agreed with the decision to have him stop after 8 because of how long the bottom of the 7th played out in this game. But he's just remarkable. And, you know, makes you long for the days, I guess, Bob, of the one-game playoff. Because if there was a one-game wild card, you'd feel great about Paul Skenes being out there. But that's no longer the case. They're in a dogfight in the NL Central, and they need to win the games Paul Skenes pitches in. And last year they didn't. Last year he had an ERA under 2, and they were a 500 team when Skenes pitched. He's already got 6 wins this year. He didn't get his 6th win until the end of July last season. So, yeah, so it's just he amazes 9 times out of 10. He does something spectacular when he's out there, and he did it again tonight against really a very bad Rockies team. They're managed by a guy from Vandergrift, PA, Bob, who went to Greensburg Central Catholic High School, as it turns out, but not a very good baseball team, and when you play the Rockies at home, you should beat them.
No question about that. And, you know, Paul Skenes, if you look at his last couple of starts, just 16 innings, no runs, no walks, 17 strikeouts. As you mentioned, he hasn't walked anyone in like a month and a couple of days after that. The guy's just ridiculous. And as soon as Nicky Gonzalez got that RBI in the first, I thought, okay, that's going to be probably enough for him the way he goes. Who would have thought it'd go out like that? But, man, he is terrific. And even I understand what you're saying about the one-game playoff, the way it used to be. Madison Bumgarner had the Pirates number whenever that was the case, but you never know how the pitching is. If they have to play till the end of the year and he pitches that last game, it could be a problem if they needed it. I think with Ashcraft, Keller, and what they have coming up, and Jared Jones, who pitched 4 more scoreless innings tonight, and he looks like he's ready for prime time once again. They have enough starters; they should be able to win these short series, and that's why it's so imperative for them to get in here. Once you get in, man, you never know what's going to happen with this pitching staff. They're that good.
I agree. I mean, Keller needs to be the pitcher he usually is in May and June, in August and September and October. That needs to change for him. Ashcraft has never been a full season major league starting pitcher. And so we're going to see how his body holds up over the demands of the 162-game season. If they do, I think they're in great shape, to your point. Jared Jones, I don't know if you saw this. He was asked by a reporter in Altoona tonight, how would you feel about going to the bullpen? And he said, I'm going to throw a bullpen in Pittsburgh. He said, no. I mean, being assigned to the bullpen. And he laughed at the guy and said, next question. So he very, very clearly sees himself as a starting pitcher. And I think the Pirates feel the same way about him. You'd think that. But you don't, look, to me, if Mlodzinski and Chandler had pitched well, okay, maybe it would have made sense to start Jones in the bullpen when he gets called back up here, Bob, to ease him in. But it sounds like that's not anything he's interested in doing, and he must have been told that that's not part of his acclimation back to the major leagues when he's ready. But
what will be is short starts. I don't expect him to go long, which means a guy like Mlodzinski, let's say he goes into the bullpen, he would be the arm to take you almost like, okay, he's a continuation of the first starter. He can go 3 innings or more if he needs to in that situation. Or Chandler. We haven't mentioned him. If he gets his act together, man, They go very deep with this pitching staff. All right, Pony.
And how about the password tonight, Bob? We got to mention him.
3 home runs.
3 homers.
How about that? And wasn't he just back from an injury stint? I mean, he had 3 home runs. Joe Stinson Garcia, name we're going to hear a lot of, hopefully. Man, things are all popping up roses for the Pittsburgh Pirates, and that's good to see. They'll look to maybe sweep this series. They got 2 more against the Rockies coming up before big weekend with the Phillies. And how about the Mets? Your New York Mets are really struggling here. What are they going to do? They have all this money tied up in all these guys, and at some point, you wonder if they're just going to make a deal. I saw the Dodgers made one today. They got a pretty good outfielder in Alek Thomas.
Alek Thomas.
So,
well, I think Freddie Peralta is going to get traded. Freddie Peralta is in the last year of his contract. They brought him over from Milwaukee. The GM for New York was in Milwaukee, David Stearns, and he thought he made a huge deal to get an ace for the Mets, and he's been fine. I mean, Peralta's not part of the problem there, but he hasn't been great. He's not signed beyond this year, so he'll get flipped. Someone's going to trade for him and give up top prospects for Freddie Peralta. I don't think the Pirates need him, Bob, but who knows? Maybe the Cubs. They've had big-time starting pitching injuries this year, and they've been able to still win despite that.
Right.
I could see them stepping up and trading for him and adding to their rotation for October.
It's going to be interesting to see. We got to take a break, Pony. When we come back, we'll talk about Evgeni Malkin, because today Kyle Dubas talked about whether or not he's going to be back, gave some indications and some hints. We'll talk about that. And we want your phone calls at 412-575-2600. It's the Ireland Contracting Nightly Sports Call right here on KDKA Plus and most nights 93.7 The Fan. All right, this is our Xfinity tweet of the night from Rob Friedman, and this puts it all in perspective. You might remember that first game at Citi Field. It was Paul Skenes who gave up 5, actually charged with 5. I thought they could have been called errors on O'Neal Cruz. Anyway, 67.50 ERA after that start. His ERA currently is now 198. Career ERA 197, hasn't walked a batter in the month, as I said. And, you know, Pony, if you take those 5 runs away, his ERA right now would be 1.09, which is, you know, you're doing better when Bob Gibson did in 1968 when he had 1.12 in a ridiculous season where he pitched over 300 innings. So we're seeing some historic stuff here, Noah.
Oh, yeah, and look, that first game, I agree with you. He was not sharp, but he deserved better. His outfield defense was atrocious. And the Cardinals on that afternoon game at PNC Park, when the Pirates lost a 4-game series, got swept. He got drilled in the first inning. Weatherholt homered, Walker homered. That's the hardest he's been hit all year, was in that inning against St. Louis. And outside of just 2 blips on the radar to start games, he's pretty much been perfect. And, you know, it boggles your mind. Anytime you see him give up a run or get touched up a little bit, you're shocked because you just expect him to be pretty much perfect. And he had higher expectations than any Pirate pitcher ever when he got called up to the big leagues, Bob. And somehow he's been able to even exceed those in a big way. I mean, just blown away the expectations that we had for him when he made his debut.
Let's go to the phone lines, 412-575-2600. Our number 1 Cochran Go One Better caller of the night tonight is in Moon Township. That would be John. Hello, John.
Hey, gentlemen, great show. I just wanted to know, I hope the Pirate fans are watching Skenes, because this is going to be truly maybe one in a lifetime to watch somebody like this pitching for the Pirates or anywhere in baseball. My question is, when are we going to get a relief pitcher, a bona fide relief pitcher? Thank you. I
think they need, another potential starter too, because I'm always factoring in potential injuries to starters or guys. They're going to be on innings limits, guys like Ashcraft and Chandler. So I may still be looking for that. But yeah, I think they're, when you get to Santana has been up and down, and I think tonight the fact that Soto was in there shows you maybe that Donnie Kelly's now leaning in his direction more so than Santana to close games.
I agree with that. I think there's guys out there. There's going to be. I mean, Aroldis Chapman's a name that I think is going to get a ton of run because of where the Red Sox are in the standings. The Rays are off to an amazing start. Again, they're doing their voodoo and their magic, and they're in first place. The Yankees have been pretty good, and Garrett Cole is still waiting in the wings there to pitch. And you've got Boston just really buried in the AL East. And what are you going to do with that? Very expensive, but last year the best closer in baseball was Aroldis Chapman after he left the Pirates. With all that postseason history he has with the Rangers and the Yankees, and He's been in big games. Someone is going Cubs, of course, in the World Series. Somebody is going to go out and acquire him. And it would be cool if the Pirates could bring him back, but I don't know what Ben Cherington's appetite is going to be for that, Bob. Is he going to be willing to part with these prospects in order to get this team over the finish line? I don't know. I mean, you don't trade Seth Hernandez, obviously.
Well, not him, no.
But
there could be
how
other
about the other guys? Your Tamar Johnson and Hunter Barco and Thomas Harrington and those guys. They should all be available, in my opinion.
I still haven't given up on Barco. I still think he's going to be a good pitcher just because he's left-handed on top of everything else. But, yeah.
But would you trade him for Chapman?
If I knew that I could win and I had a chance this year to win, I would go all in on winning now, whatever that may look like. And Chapman, Matt Clement brought his name up first. I know Joe Starkey wrote about it in the Trib, and we've been talking about it. You guys have talked about it on your show. That would be a tremendous ad, knowing what he's done here. He still looks the same. He looks like he hasn't changed at all. So, yeah, I would consider all of that if I were in a position that I thought I can get in and win a short series, which I think they can do. All right, real quick, before I get back to the phone lines, ask you about Evgeni Malkin, because today Kyle Dubas made it sound like everything is all just peachy right now between those two. You have a great exit interview. He just praised him for what he did this year, especially considering he moved to wing. He was willing to do that, and because there's nobody really in that system that he's blocking, it sounds like he's coming back. What percentage would you say Evgeni Malkin comes back? Because I think right now it sounds like 80-20 he'll be back.
I thought it was so weird because we heard Malkin at his exit interview. I thought he made it sound like Kyle Dubas didn't want him anymore. Kyle Dubas at the trade deadline, when we heard about Evgeni Malkin and wanting to have more substantive contract extension talks, and Dubas shut that down, and he was so disappointed by it. I heard a guy today in Kyle Dubas that made it sound like this is going to be easy to get done. If Dubas wants him back and Malkin wants to come back, and we're not talking about a 3 or 4 year deal, it's only going to be probably a 1 year deal, it seems like it's going to be an easy contract to negotiate. So, yeah, I was surprised by how I didn't think that Dubas was going to be so authoritative and affirmative when talking about the odds of Malkin coming back and really how strongly the Penguins feel about bringing him back, Bob. I did not think he was going to put it in those terms today when he talked.
I also think there is a degree of ownership involved here. Whenever the Hoffman Group does get fully involved, the last thing they want is to have an elite player leave on their terms. So that could play into it. Again, because he's playing a wing, I think it makes it a lot easier. He's been willing to do whatever it takes. I would, however, insist that he is not going to be automatically on the first power play unit. I would take that away from him. I don't think, just like Letang had to do it. Have Carlson, they moved him to the second. He's been good about doing it. I think Malkin may have to come off that top unit as well. All right, let's go back to the lines. JD is in North Hills, and now he's on the Ireland Contracting Nightly Sports Call. Go ahead, JD.
I want to talk about the Steelers and their schedule. What do you guys think about the Steelers playing in Paris against the Saints in October?
Yeah, I saw that come out today. I forget who reported that. I know that Mike DeFabo had sort of quote tweeted it. That's interesting. I didn't expect they'd get one. I thought this London game that was supposedly was going to happen with Jacksonville, that was nixed by Jacksonville, so they may go a year without it. I know they're heavily involved with Dublin, of course, and probably will return there again, Pony, at some point. Mexico is a big thing with them. I think Germany is a country they want to get more play in. But Paris is interesting. What's your take on that?
I think it's a good thing for them because they don't win in New Orleans. They haven't won a game there since 1990. It's not that they play there a lot, but it's been a very difficult place to win. The Saints do have tremendous home field advantage with how loud it gets in the Superdome. That's one of the rare places where the Steelers go on the road and really don't take over an opposing stadium. So to get them in France, I think, turns it into more of a neutral site game, turns it more into a Steelers home game, actually, even though we haven't seen a football game in Paris yet. And so in that respect, I think it's a good thing for them. They're playing with the unbalanced schedule. It's supposed to be 9 road games and 8 home games. Well, now it feels like it's more 8 home games, 8 road games, and 1 neutral site game, which I do think is an advantage for them, Bob.
Yeah, no matter where they go, they get a lot of fan support, and I imagine that Paris, France will be no exception. We'll take a break, come back with more. It's 412-575-2600. Call us with your thoughts right here on the Ireland Contracting Nightly Sports Call. We're live, KDKA Plus and 93.7 The Fan. Welcome back, Bob Pompeani, Andrew Fillipponi with you at 412-575-2600. The other interesting thing about the Kyle Dubas press conference, Andrew, was the goaltending situation. I was just watching. Did you see the video? That's what had my attention here of Marshall Manning, Peyton's son, 14-year-old.
I've seen it, yeah.
He does a tremendous imitation of his dad, and I wonder how long before NIL money starts coming to him. Anyway, Murashov looks like to be the guy, but I would imagine Shilovs is going to be retained as a restricted free agent. That means Stewart's going to move on. Joel Blomqvist is a guy that I really like, but I don't know if he's going to get an opportunity. Dubas made it sound like there's going to be a battle for one of those two to make the roster.
Murashov shut out Springfield tonight in Game 1 of the second round of the American League playoffs. So they go up 1-0. I'm not sure if that's a best of 5 or best of 7. I think it might be best of 5 again. And the first game's in Wilkes-Barre, and they won tonight 2-0. Billy Zonin had a goal for Wilkes-Barre. He's a first-round pick Penguin from last year who I think is going to factor into their plans here moving forward. But, yeah, I mean, I think the plan in goal should be Murashov and Shilovs next year. With those guys sharing the net and probably Murashov getting more games. But depending on how they play, you divvy up the playing time that way. And Stuart Skinner probably had a chance to come back, but the way he played in the playoffs, I think, sealed his fate, Bob. He'll be somewhere else next year.
No question about that. And tonight we saw Buffalo get a lucky bounce for Tage Thompson. I never saw a bounce like that off the boards. It got past Dubas in goal, and it looked like, Montreal might go up 3-1 in that series. Gave them new life, made it 2-2. They end up winning on, we talk about a lot of young 21-year-olds. That Zach Benson from Buffalo has been terrific. He may be their best player so far in this series against Montreal. Yeah.
And Bob, who is the pick for you to win the PGA Championship in suburban Philadelphia this week?
That's such a great course.
Who do you like?
It's hard not to say Scheffler, but I think I'm going to go with Cam Young. Has been very hot, although he did not finish well last week. I still think he's going to win, and this will be the week he does it. So I'm going to go with Cam Young.
I think it's going to be a Hogard. I don't know which one. There's two of them.
Nikolai.
But I think one of the Hogards are going to get it done, yeah.
There are so many good players there. It's going to be a tremendous course. And anytime Gil Hans gets involved in helping a golf course, it's going to be brutal. He did that at Oakmont. He's been at all the major golf courses. Pony, thanks as always. Appreciate it.
Bob.
And we'll see you later this week. That's going to do it for us. Thank you for joining us here on KDKA+. We'll do it tomorrow night and every night, so call us at 412-575-2600. Have a good evening. Good night.